Welcome to my new calculus channel. My name is John Gabriel, and in this video I'm going to make an announcement, a very important announcement, and one that I think will be of great interest to those of you who are my subscribers, and in fact to the future of aspiring mathematicians, and in fact to the future of humanity as a whole, because the current path that we're on, using the flawed mainstream mathematics and calculus, is not going to get us anywhere. It's a dead end. Mainstream calculus, because it lacks rigor and it's so flawed, takes many, many years to master, and in many cases can't be mastered even over a lifetime. So, for example, we have professors of mathematics who are supposedly experts with partial differential equations and boundary value problems and many other applied mathematics fields of research. But the calculus they're using is flawed, and they're not able to utilize the tools of the new calculus because they don't know what the new calculus is all about. So what I will do now is just briefly explain to you in this announcement what I intend to do. So let's begin. Now, as those of you who have been following me know, I have at present papers which are a collection and exceed 2,000 pages. I have actually rewritten Euclid's Elements. I have revised it in a way that there are no more ambiguities or vague statements, and I've actually basically completed what Euclid wasn't able to do, which was to write down the perfect derivation of number, to explain the confusion around axioms and postulates, of which there aren't any in mathematics, and also to state the geometric concepts correctly as they were meant to be stated. Now, when I'm speaking about Euclid, let me tell you that Euclid knew these things. It's just that he didn't manage to write them down perfectly. So he almost got there, but he didn't. And that's why there was a need for me to revise the Elements, the most important work ever written in mathematics, and the only place that any true mathematician can begin with. Okay, there is no other recommended starting point for those who want to learn mathematics. You have to begin with Euclid. And so that's why I revised the Elements. And so in that collection of papers, the Elements is one of the contents that I've revised. But there is also the new calculus, which is over 800 pages. So that's a lot of information, a lot of work, and there are many theorems and new facts that I am still not willing to share with the mainstream. But at this point, I think it's a good time to reveal an introduction to the single variable new calculus. And these are the topics that I plan to cover in an ebook or possibly a book that might be published. So first, I'll discuss the history of mathematics in general, from the beginning till this time. Then I'll discuss some philosophy and what it means for a concept to be well defined. After that, I plan to include a chapter on the topic of axioms and postulates, which are, in fact, not required in mathematics and have no place in mathematics. And of course, how we got numbers, which is quite a large topic, but very important because the derivation of number is the beginning of mastering mathematics. So without a number, you can't really master mathematics. Mathematics is the science of measure, and a number is the measure of a magnitude. I was the first to well define the concept of number in all of human history. No academic before me was ever able to accomplish this. So that's pretty important, and it'll be discussed in a separate chapter. And then, of course, how we got algebra, geometry, and all those topics. I'm not going to spend too much time on geometry because that falls under how we got numbers. Then there's also the topic of real numbers, which is actually a misguided notion on the part of mainstreamers. There is no such thing as a real number. And I think it's important to discuss that. And of course, the second most important concept in mathematics is the arithmetic mean, which I think deserves a chapter all on its own because it permeates every aspect of mathematics and statistics, applied mathematics, science, engineering, and anything else you can care to think of in STEM fields. The next topic will be on functions, because if you don't have functions, then you don't have calculus. And not only just having functions, but also special kinds of functions. So calculus requires the use of smooth functions, which model a particular situation. If you do not have a smooth function in calculus, then you may as well toss it out the window, because calculus cannot be used on anything but smooth functions. Okay, even partial differential calculus and integral calculus and any other calculus you can think of requires smooth functions. Okay. Then I will deal with a chapter on mainstream misconceptions about mathematics, which will discuss many fallacies. And the following chapter will discuss the lack of rigor in mainstream calculus. And of course, on its heels will be the ideas that led to the discovery of the new calculus, which will be a very interesting chapter. And to follow that will be a chapter on the new calculus derivative, the mean value theorem, and the new calculus integral. So that will cover most of the single variable calculus. And then I will discuss a few new theorems in the new calculus, which I've already shared with the public. And so that will indeed cover the single variable new calculus, and perhaps if that is accepted well and successful, then a second book might follow on the new calculus in several dimensions, and the ideas that make up the new calculus are quite different. I think I have mentioned this in the past, but the single variable calculus can be extended in the same way as the mainstream calculus to multivariable calculus. But the actual multivariable new calculus uses new kinds of objects. So you're dealing with a brand new kind of mathematics, something which I've never shared with the public. I've dropped some hints, but that's about as far as it's gone. So that's what I plan to work on as and when I can in the days ahead. And I thought I'd like to make that announcement on this new calculus channel. And as soon as it's complete, I will let you know where it can be obtained. And that's all I have to say for this particular YouTube video. I hope you're interested and that you'll look forward to this. And hopefully I'll be able to complete it and get it delivered to you at some future time. Hopefully not too far in the distant future. So This is the New Calculus channel. My name is John Gabriel. Till next time, goodbye.